I mean, it sounds like you're as excited about it. I mean, we use the phrase clean slate talking about you coming here, but it really is. It's ground zero for everybody,
Right.
isn't it?
Absolutely ground zero. The first thing I'm going to be doing when we have our first meeting in this locker room is I'm going to tell them to close their eyes and forget everything they've gone through, everything they've learned. They have no say at first. You know, they're going to have to earn their say, and the only way to do that is to be good citizens on campus, you know, good people to the community, good students, you know, really do their job academically, follow our path, you know, and believe in what we do. The one thing they can't say when they come here is they can't say that, at least for a while, that the coaches don't know what they're doing. So you know, we're gonna bring that to them, and we're gonna challenge them to follow our lead, even if it's not quite what they've done in the past, and trust us. And with their trust in us is going to come our trust in them, and then I think we'll build something really great.
Community involvement is going to be so key with any program, especially a cult following kind of sport like lacrosse, at least at this point in this area of the country. Right. But here's kind of a goofy story. My wife and I go to garage sales all the time, and a couple Fridays ago, I'm going to garage sales, going into a neighborhood sale, and I have my Denver shirt on. And 3 different places in that one day, "Oh, do you work at DU?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Wow, how did you get that lacrosse coach?" That's unbelievable. I mean, I've never had anybody ever mention lacrosse to me out and about in the community. You got to be pretty excited, and that's going to be a key, isn't it, to this program?
There's no question. You know, the excitement in this community that's been built up by the Outlaws, by the Mammoth. You know, somebody said it best the other day. I was reading something, and the lacrosse is not, even when you look at Baltimore and you look at Long Island and upstate New York, in a lot of respects, it's still a niche sport. You know, here there's a following. I mean, this is a cult is the better way to go, and we're going to enhance that. We're going to enhance it, but not by saying, "Come see us." You know, we're going to come see you. We're going to get into elementary schools. We're going to get to the club programs. We're going to get the coaches in here and give them clinics. We're going to bring kids on campus however we can, and we're going to also send the message that being a good citizen, being a good student goes hand in hand with what's going on in lacrosse, and being at a place like DU is going to allow us to do that, because you look it around, and this is what really sold me, is all you see is quality. You know, all you see is quality, from the chancellor to Dan Ritchie to Peg to all the coaching staff that's here. You know, I just in George's office, and you know, just a phenomenal, young, enthusiastic approach to this thing. How can we do anything but succeed?
Yeah. Let's talk about style of play. I think people are interested in that. And you know, there's another former Princeton coach on this campus that maybe has the same approach to his sport that you do to yours. And I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds there, but it seems that the little I've gotten to know in this short period of time, both of you guys have a real knack of controlling tempo in your particular sport. Fair?
Fair. I think with us, there's a little bit of a transition. I've always believed that the coach has to make the transition to his players, as opposed to the players making the transition to the coach. So we'll evaluate our guys, especially offensively, to see what we've got. You know, we got Mark Matthews, who's one of the finest offensive players in the country in this program, and we're not going to hold the ball or slow it down if we can get it in that guy's hands. I can promise you that. So, but what we can do, and I'm sure what Joe Scott would tell you the same thing, is if you play good, solid defense and you use your feet and you use, you know, at the risk of stealing, you know, a famous line, the smart take from the strong that Pete Carrill wrote his book on, that's what we've done at Princeton, and that's what we're going to continue to do here. We're going to play smart defense. We're going to make people have to work to score goals. We've got the finest goalie coach in the country, in my estimation, in Trevor Tierney, and he's going to make these guys understand not only how to play goal, but how to play goal within a system of defense. And with that comes whether you become a fast break, fast transition, let it go type team offensively, or you get it down the field and you settle it in and you try to be a little bit more patient. That's up to us to figure out. The big difference between basketball and lacrosse, of course, is there's no shot clock. So we've got the ability to if we can coach these kids the right way, push it when you can and pull it out when you have to, and then be smart with what we're going to do. But it still comes down to giving the kids a sound foundation of defense to build your program around. And once you do that, then they're not they're always sure as to what they're supposed to be doing out there. And once that happens, the offense will take care of itself.
You mentioned a moment ago talking about scheduling, the difficulty of trying to get initially some of the big name teams out here. I noticed the schedule for this year is not out. When you got here, did you kind of, again, clean slate it, and are you trying to rebuild that? Or is
well, we're trying to rebuild it, but you can't really clean slate it too much because you're at the mercy of a lot of schedules that are done a year or two ahead. It's not thankfully like football where you got to look 5 years ahead, but it certainly is one we've got to start working on for 2011. Right now we're stuck in a couple of things that haven't gone out yet. We're going to play Colgate on February 20th, but I'm trying to also, we may do 2 games in 2 cities on the East Coast on February 20th and 21st, which is going to be taxing for our guys. But right now we've got to be the one who goes out there and makes the sacrifice, and we're going to do that. We do have Albany coming. It's a really talented team. We've got Penn and Lehigh coming for the tournament. We've got Loyola coming out, who's a great program. We may end up, we do have an open date right now on March 27th. Bucknell dropped us really late. So we may end up playing Air Force twice during the year for this one transition year. But I've already started discussions with Maryland, North Carolina, and Syracuse right now to get into the future. And once we get one of those guys on the program, we're going to be okay. When I went to Princeton from being the assistant at Johns Hopkins, I made a deal with them, signed a 10-year deal that we would come to Hopkins every year until we beat them. And then after 4 years, when we beat them in the playoffs, then it came back to a home and home. And wow. I'm willing to make those deals right now because I think back then I was a little bit of a young punk that was a little too cocky. Now I'm a little smarter and knowing that you have to win those games, but it might be tough as well. But we're ready, willing, and able to do that. Everything I do here, I run by Matt Brown from a coach-player perspective, and talk about getting the chance to play in the Carrier Dome, playing maybe Colgate at Johns Hopkins, even though it's not Hopkins, but playing in these things, I think gives you some quick credibility to the young men that are playing for you to say, this thing is going in the right direction and we're going to be on board.
Finally, this facility, we're sitting in Peter Barton Stadium, really a unique facility, one of its kind almost across the country. How big a tool will this be for you?
It will be huge, and having a dedicated lacrosse facility it's rare. I mean, I can't even tell you someone else who has just a lacrosse facility. And I've spoken with Liza, our women's coach, and she's excited about that. We're excited about working together. But I think one of the goals I've set, and I told when I was interviewing here, I was standing out on Peg's nice balcony out there, which she does a great job, overlooking not only the geographical landscape, but the landscape here at DU. And I said to her, Peg, look at that stadium. And she said, it's beautiful, isn't it? And I said, yeah, we're going to make it outdated in 3 years. And so, who knows what that means, whether that means some more stands or playing in Invesco a couple more games, but whatever. But I love this stadium, and we're going to pack this place with little kids. I think that's the way to go. Get the little guys in there, get your players to know that they're more than just lacrosse players. They're role models to young people, and that signing an autograph means something to the 6 or 8 or 10-year-old that's asking you for it. And when we do that and we make it exciting, and we're filling the place, when the tickets are hard to get, that's when you're going somewhere, and I think it'll come. That minute will come very quickly.
Should be a lot of fun. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.